Okay, now with that finished, we can actually just hit OK, and we can see that there's actually some weird artifacting going on, mainly like right at the leg. There's also some weirdness kind of going on with the belt. It's not horrible, but it just some of that needs to be fixed. It's just the way that like when the camera is looking at, and then also the way that the model was kind of modeled on there. So it's kind of shooting. It basically shoots at the surface and tries to see the depth, and then it just places it on that on the lower. It does a pretty good job on some of these areas. Like the threads look pretty good, knowing that that's just a flat surface. They look pretty good. And then also down here too, I'm getting some kind of weirdness going on with the shoes and the shoelaces as well. We're going to take that over to Photoshop to fix all these things. I know that you can fix them in Substance. I just think taking it over to Photoshop makes these a little bit faster with cleaning up. Overall, it does a pretty decent job. Like if you look at the hair too, there's a few artifacts that kind of have taken over. It's not horrible, but not exactly what I'm looking for either. So with that in mind, if we click over to layers, and from here, the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of throw on some basic color, just a basic color that doesn't really have anything else associated. It's just a base color. So to do that, I'm actually going to just pick a color. Okay, so for the mascot body material, which has our t-shirt and our pants, our arms, the belt, all that. So to get to that, the way that we're going to go about doing that is I'm going to just basically fill a color. So we'll start with kind of the skin tone color and from here I'll name this. Okay, so we'll name this skin tone, just so we know that this is what we're actually working on. And from here, we will add a fill layer. Okay, so with that fill layer, so the first thing I want to do is so I'm going to go to this fill layer, and I'm going to call this skin tone. And I'm actually going to just turn off this lower one and just name this as something like default or whatever. So this first fill layer is just a basic fill color, and from here I'm actually going to, so if you scroll down in the properties, we want to turn off our height, our roughness, all this, the normal, metal, AO, and all we have is our base color. Okay, so with this uniform color, we just click on this white box, and we can actually go into here and kind of look for that skin tone color that we're kind of it doesn't have to be exact and perfect. We're just gonna throw in a base color that's easily changeable. It'll be easily changeable. Okay, so that's the one good thing about Substance that I really enjoy, is that you can make a lot of changes quickly by just filling in the areas that need to be filled in. Okay, so and right now it's placing everything. It's placing just a fill of that color over the whole object. And what we want to do is add a mask. Okay, so if you right click and say add a black mask, so now this is placing a black mask over that color. And what we want to get to is we want to be able to paint, you can either paint on the object or you can actually select the polygons in the 2D mode, so I can actually just pick and choose what objects I want. And since everything is all kind of cut out already, it makes it a little easy to just throw on fast color. So to get to those, over here, there's a polygon fill feature. And from here, you can go to the triangles, to the polygons, or to the mesh. Okay, so if you go to the polygon fill, and this is at 100%, okay, so with that, I know that these are my arms, so I can actually select these guys, both of these, okay, and we also know our hands, so we can select those hands, and I'm just dragging a box over all these. I want all the polys that are involved with that. I want to have that color. Same with this, just kind of quickly dragging over this. Okay, so I think that might be, actually we have also some skin color right there as well, which is, we can just double check that. And you can also select them here too. Like if you drag a box like around here like this, which is fine. I want that skin tone color to reflect there. So with this, we're actually going to, let's do the shirt next. Okay, so right here we're going to add a new fill layer. Okay, with this fill layer, we'll just name this t-shirt color. And from the t-shirt color, we'll actually turn these all off and just the color. And from here, I'll probably go to a, not so much a plain white, and I also want to change the hue to maybe like a bluish, light grayish. And from here, so that color, and we can make that change. We can fix that. Okay, so we can fix any of these colors, which is kind of great. So we can go back to this. So say our skin tone we don't really like, we can just make that change right at that base color. So from here at the t-shirt, we're going to add another black mask. Okay, and then we'll stay in our polygon fill mode and just actually select all the polygons for the t-shirt and just make sure all those polygons get selected. Same with here. Same with here. Just making sure those are white. Looks like he's wearing a white t-shirt. And that should be good on that end. And also, I will probably make a new one just for the socks, just so I can actually, if I want to paint any lines and stuff on the sock, I'll have that made. So I'll just create another fill layer, and I'll name this one socks color. And from there, I'll add a black mask. And from here, I just want to make sure that on this color, I'm going to turn all these off and just go back to the uniform color and just pick probably pick more of a yellowish white. Okay, and then from here, we'll go back to over to our mask and we'll mask this off. And so we'll get that like yellowish color on the socks. Okay, and from here we'll actually probably fill the pants color. So when you hold down Alt, if you hold down Alt in here, you can actually rotate around this. If you want to if you get it like cockeyed, if you hold down Shift and Alt, it'll lock back in place. If you hold down Alt and middle mouse drag, you can actually just kind of move around in here. And Alt right mouse drag will zoom in and out. Okay, you can also hit F to frame. Okay, so our next fill color, we're going to fill. Let's fill this with the pants. So we'll just name this pants color, and from here turn off all the other stuff we don't really want right this second. And from here we can pick a pants color, which is going to be a bluish color. And I'm pretty sure that our color that we had seen with the concept was somewhere around this region. And we can make those changes later. So from here we're just going to add a new black mask, and we'll go in and just select those polys that are affected by the pants color. So right now this is going to be the back, so you can see that. And here we'll actually select these guys, these polys through here. So here, just making sure we're grabbing all the polygons that are selections for this. These guys, these are the underlying polygons for those pants there. So I want to make sure we grab all of them. And so we can see that we have that base color, base blue color for the pants. And okay, that looks like we got all the pants pretty good there. All right, and so with that, let's go with the shoes. Okay, so we'll add another fill layer, and we'll call this one shoes color, and add a black mask. And if we pick the color that we want, I'll probably go with this reddish gray-ish, which will be the basis for the white. And I'm just going to turn all this other stuff off, and so it's just that, just the color. Okay, and then we'll go over to the mask, and we'll select all those polygons that are going to be affected by that color. So we're basically just kind of unmasking that area. So it's like we're going to use all those polys, okay? So and we just take a look, and our shoes are white. We'll add red and whatnot to, we'll paint those, we'll probably paint that in once we get over to that. Right, for right now we're just actually throwing on the basic color for these. And so for the next piece, we need to add the belt color. Okay, and so we'll grab a fill layer, and for this one, we'll just turn everything off. And from here, we're going to name this belt color. All right. And from here, I just want to make sure that I'm actually selecting the right color that I'm looking for. I want to go back to my drawing and just make sure that I'm kind of picking and choosing the colors that I'm looking for. So actually, here's that drawing again. And so if you hold down Control, you can actually, this is just the regular. So I might change the belt color. I'm not sure if I like the white. I might darken that for now, just to see kind of what it looks like. So with that belt color, let's go with so we'll change the hue to blue, and maybe like a darker blue color. And then we will actually add a black mask, and this drag on here. Yeah, that kind of stands out a little better than white. Kind of like in the dark, but a little better. So with that, and from here we'll actually add another fill layer and turn off all the other items. We just want color. And from here, we're going to probably select a silver-ish color. I'm probably going to go right around in the red, but probably maybe a little bit lighter here, right around that region. It's kind of a silvery reddish color. And from here, we'll add a black mask. Also rename the layer to buckle color. And with this buckle color, I'll actually just go and select that belt buckle on the mask. So, right. Okay, and then from here, we're actually going to throw on a color for the basically the bottom of the shoe. So from here, we'll actually add another fill layer and name this shoe bottom color, and turn off all the. Actually, I believe if you hold down Control, let's see. There we go. So yeah, it's if you hold down Alt and just the one thing that you want, it'll actually just deselect everything. So I'll just hold down Alt and click on Color, which is all we want is the color. And from here, I'll probably go pretty dark, not totally black, more like a brownish blackish color. And from here, we'll add another black mask and select the polygons for the bottom of the shoe, which you can see. And from here, it looks like our body color. Our body is looking not too bad. So from this one, I'm actually going to just copy this layer right here, and we'll go to the head material now. So, so from the mascot head matte, if you select that, it goes basically now we're over onto the material for the head. So to for this first layer, I'm just gonna basically leave that, and I'm actually going to just do a paste layer, and so this is basically a skin tone, but we want to clear this mask. So to clear the mask, we can just right click on the mask and then say clear mask, and then that clears that mask. So now we can go in here and add our the polygons that we want masked for that skin color. So we can actually just go to this one, and this is just basically has our skin tone color that we were kind of looking for at that point. And so here I'm just kind of zooming up just to make sure that we grabbed all the right polygons for that, which looks right from what I can see here. And then for the hair, I will actually just go in here, and so from here I'm actually going to add a fill layer and just call this hair color. I'm actually going to change this from skin tone to skin color. And for the hair color, I will turn all these off and just go with color. So it's holding down Alt and clicking, and then we'll change this color more to a brownish color. And so I'll probably go more, the hue is not, it's going to probably still stay red-ish. And I'll probably go with just basically like in this reddish tone kind of color. And from here, I will add a new black mask, and I'm actually going to select all these polys right here. And you can see that's just coloring that part of his hair. And from here, I'll select this top part here as well. And also his eyebrows. So with these eyebrows, we'll select those. Okay. And so that's what we have for that hair color. So this other hair color, I'll probably just add a new, another fill layer, and then turn off everything. And we're going to go here, and if you select the, you can basically grab this and then drag it around. You can basically select whatever color is on the screen. And so I'm kind of going to go with this as a basis, and then I'm just going to lighten it just a hair, just a little bit. It's kind of getting more into skin tone, but it's just kind of like a different color brown. So I'm actually going to rename this hair light color. Okay. Get an auto save right there, which is fine. I haven't really saved, so I'm going to add a black mask, and I'm going to actually select the hair that's kind of I'm just selecting these guys. All right, so you can kind of see that hair, so kind of have that kind of blocked in as kind of a base color. And then also we want to add another fill layer, and we'll name this eyes color. And also turn off everything except for color. And I'm going to go to a blue-ish hue and just grab that and add a black mask. And I'll go over here and select all of the eyeball. That's what I want, all these polygons. Alrighty. Okay, I don't recall, I think this might be the bottom of the neck. So with that skin color, if we go down here, select that, select the mask, and then here we should be able to just drag on there. I believe this is the bottom of the neck. Looks right. So we basically have the character kind of blocked in for the most part. Like if we just go to our paintbrush and we can kind of zoom around, not zoom around, but rotate around him and just kind of look at how we have the base color kind of built on. And also if you hit the M button, or I believe it's B, yes it's B, you can actually go through each individual map. So you can see what the ambient occlusion is doing, and you can also see the map, see what it's doing. You can click on either one to see kind of what that map's doing. So you can see that this black, that's why we want to take these over to Photoshop and just kind of clean them up. They're a little, they're not right, not correct. So if we hit B again, we can actually see what everything's doing. This is, I believe, the curvature map, and so you get, you know, all the nice lines on the edges where the curvature is happening on the mesh. And so this is the position map, and our thickness map, and our normal, what our normal looks like. So yeah, you can just hit B and kind of cycle through all those. If you want to get back to the regular material mode, you just you want to see the material as a whole, you hold down M and you get that material, which shows us basically everything, all the maps working together. So the normal, AO, all that together. So at this point, with everything kind of blocked in, we're just going to go and I'm going to save. And so I'm actually going to just name this straight up mascot texture. And this will actually mascot texture, let's say mascot texture 2. I just want to make sure that I don't overwrite. I can probably overwrite the mascot texture because it's just an old file that I don't really need. But I'll just name this mascot texture 2, and it should have the most latest recent date on it. So that's the one that we're going to roll with. So from here, I'm actually going to save that file, and so now we have a save file that we can work with. And from here, I will actually go to File, Export Textures, okay, and then from here we're going to select probably a different. Okay, so our output template is actually set to the Unity HD render pipeline, which is to look and see what that is, we go to the output templates, and if we scroll down, we can see that so this is what it's going to spit out for us. Okay, so that's going to basically give you the base map, which is the color, the mass map, a normal, and an emissive. I have another one set up here, which is called this Unity Universal Render Pipeline. This one will spit out a color map, okay, which the color map is the actual color, the base color, okay, and also spits out an alpha, so RGB and alpha, and then the normal, which comes across as just a normal RGB. The AO is just a grayscale ambient occlusion map. Subsurface scattering, which we will probably throw on a subsurface scattering map, and then the metal is basically just shoots over a couple of so it brings over a red channel for Unity. So the red channel is basically kind of like what shows metallic. So with that in mind, I'll probably yeah, we'll just leave that. So it's basically the Unity Universal Render Pipeline Metallic Standard. So in settings, we want to make sure that that's the one that we're using. So I'm just going to scroll up. So Unity HD or Universal Render Pipeline Metallic Standard. That's the one that we want. And from here, we'll leave everything at, so the list of exports. So this is what we're going to get. So we'll get an AO map, a color map, a metal map, and a normal, and a subsurface scattering map. So with that, we're going to just make sure our directory, this is where it's going to shoot it to. I'm actually going to change that to our, so I'm going to go to my actual work, Gen Toolkit, Substance, Textures, and I'll select that folder. Okay, and then from here, I will actually just want to make sure that that folder is clean. So textures, okay, so all I have is my UV snapshots for the clothes and the head texture. So from here, we'll hit export. We'll export all those maps. And so from here, we can actually close this window and just hit save one more time. And then you can basically close down Painter for now. We'll come back to Painter, but for now we'll probably move over to Photoshop just to make those adjustments to our maps.